Hi friends, welcome back. So question for you, how much is the Trump estate at Mar-a-Lago worth? Well, if you look at a popular video here, it says worth $2 billion. And this is 2 days ago. The video by Valuetainment and Patrick Bet David got over 500,000 views and a lot of outrage. I want to go over this because someone asked me about this in the comments, and it is a good example of the kind of things that circulate on social media. And I really appreciate the community because I hope you guys understand the purpose of this channel and why I enjoy conversation with you is that we're just in pursuit of the truth. This is not a left-right thing. This is just in pursuit of the truth, which I don't think is a crazy thing to say. This is coming in a comment a day ago from Matthew. They say, Chris, a major problem for a lot of people, Republican and Democrat, is that Letitia James gave, I don't know how, a valuation to Mar-a-Lago of $18 million. Many people feel that it was an unfair evaluation. Look at the price of the real estate in the area. There are other YouTubers who made videos on the topic I speak of. And essentially I answer, yep, okay, I'll look into it, etc. And you know, just be careful out there. YouTube can be filled with all kinds of cheerleaders. And he even said, yes, it's hard to find people without bias. His comment was, I completely agree. The media is not what it used to be. Hard to find reporting without noticeable bias, especially when it comes to Trump and Valuetainment. I would say definitely lean right. This is something I want to mention with you guys is for any of these kind of things, if you're like, hear these salacious stories, right? Okay, so did Letitia James rate the property value of the Trump estate at $18 million? You can literally Google it. It's a simple Google, and you'll find no, she didn't. So what's going on here is that you have these big channels, social media, etc., perpetuating false claims. I can see it right here. Plus, I'll go through more articles. I'm just saying the first result for me is like New York Attorney General Letitia James and Judge Arthur Aragon, Mar-a-Lago valued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. False, right? This is a false claim, but it's what we have to deal with on social media. If you don't understand this particular case, Trump got fined. Says in New York it was $355 million, and then he hasn't been paying, so he's got interest, and now it's up to $454 million. And you have a lot of people on social media defending Mr. Trump. For me, again, this is not about right left. This is just about true or false. Moreover, I want also justice, which I don't think is crazy. However, a lot of people on social media feel differently, and they want to pick a team to cheerlead for. So take a look, listen to the arguments that he makes, and understand that it's built on a false premise. Let's watch this for yourself, and we'll talk about it.
Judge, right? The wonderful, sweet judge, Letitia James, says she'll seize Trump's New York buildings if he can't pay $350 million fine. Rob, if you have the video, I want you to watch this video, and then I want to show.
And then part of the strategy too of these kind of people on YouTube and social media, etc., is you have to act really angry because it appeals to your audience. For real, that real appeals to some audience people out there. They really want to see anger because they think that's strength.
Show you something else that maybe none of you have seen, except for those of you guys that have been on Twitter and X. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob. Go ahead.
And he literally is just like, hey, if you haven't been on Twitter, then you probably haven't seen the truth. And again, they're pushing these false narratives on social media. That's what's going on.
If he does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court. And we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
Trump was held liable for
Why does she talk like Janet Jackson?
By
the way, so watch this. Okay, so they want to do that, right? Because.
So if you heard the comment, I think he was saying like, why does she talk like Janet Jackson? If I heard that correctly, but whatever. and then they go on to say like, okay, look at this old article that we have, and this is sort of the title, Unseen New York Times article from 1981, and they're saying here, look, it's $20 million.
3 years ago. This house was for sale for $20 million. And then I said, this cannot be a real story. Then I went and typed New York Times to see if this article is still public. You can do this, folks. This is the article on New York.
Okay. So what's the outrage so far? So the argument they're making is Letitia James, says, oh, the value of the place is $18 million. And he's like, oh, well, in 1981, I found this old article that said it was $20 million. So therefore, Letitia is a liar and stuff like that. And this is like, this whole premise is built on a lie. The lie is that Letitia never said this 18 million thing. We're going to get to that. So let's take a look more. And this, guys, will make sense. So stick with me here if you want to know the truth of this kind of stuff. So then they're going to go through and basically perpetuate the lie
right above
more.
The picture to the left.
And what they're doing now is they're going to show you all this property and say, oh, that Letitia said 18 million, but look at the area. Look at the area. Look how expensive this stuff is. So watch for yourself.
Go to sort by highest price. Okay. And go to that first one. Go to the first one.
That's just land.
2.3 acres for $200 million.
Oh, my God.
You're paying $200 million.
Okay. So they go through real estate listings and say, see, look at all these places at 200 million. And why is that? Those evil, evil Latita James and Judge, why are they only saying 18? So if you actually look at some of these earlier articles, this is on October 2nd, 2023. It says, headline, Judge at Trump civil trial implores media to stop saying he valued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million. It's like, stop perpetuating the lie. And so what is going on here? Like where are these numbers coming from, et cetera? So I'll explain it quickly and then we'll read through the article itself. The issue is that I guess the assessor, for whatever reason, rated the property at 18 million, which was too low. I would agree with that. And then Trump was paying taxes based on this assessment. So this is not the value that the judge or the Latita gave. It's from the assessor from Florida. We'll read this again and again. I understand whenever you get this kind of stuff, some people just like completely turn their brain off and believe whatever they want. But that's why I literally read it for you. So you can see I'm not just making random stuff up. This is coming from ABC News. And if you don't believe ABC, you can look at the AP. If you don't believe AP, you can look at the New York Post, whatever. It's all the same, but just, you're dealing with audiences who are illiterate, which is frustrating, but I try my best to lead you through this stuff, guys. Okay, so it says here, according to evidence shown at trial, Trump agreed in a 2002 deed to, quote, forever extinguish the right to develop or use the property for any purpose other than club use. So why is this important? This is actually, you can look this up. This is the... it is a deed restricted place, and basically can only use it for certain kind of purposes. So this isn't so to compare this property to other properties may not be accurate, because why? Because you can't use this for everything, right? So this says here, Mar-a-Lago is deed restricted such that it cannot be used for any purpose other than a private club. So that essentially you can't use it for like a residence, right? So it changes the way you would value this kind of thing. So that point is one, which I think is a key point. So when you're comparing it to other properties, you have to compare apples to apples, right? So that's why we bring that point up here. Here it says here, while the Trump Organization executives were aware of the limited use of the property, they alleged value the property as a residence. Okay. So again, it's on the deed. The place is a private, club, so you have to value it that way, not value it as a residence. Okay, but the Trump people are trying to value it as residence. This is where the fraud case comes in case. It says they allegedly value the property as a residence in the Trump's financial statements while treating it as a social club for tax purposes. Do you guys see the difference here? According to New York Attorney General Latita James. In Trump statements of financial condition, he valued the property between $426 million and $612 million. So you got like different values that it depends on the year, I think, as well. Despite local tax assessor appraising the market value of the property between 18 and 27 million. So again, this value is not coming from Latita, it's not coming from the judge, it's coming from the tax assessor in Florida. And then you can see here, Aragon in his summary judgment ruling wrote that James had proven that Trump was liable for false valuation of the property. Trump has repeatedly argued that Aragon misunderstood the purpose of the tax assessment, going as far to call Aragon's finding fraud. And so these claims that you find on social media is actually coming from Trump. Not a big surprise, but I just want to make sure you guys understand this. So this says here, are you paying taxes on 18 million valuation of a Mar-a-Lago or 1.5 billion? State Attorney Kevin Wallace asked Trump during a direct examination, and then Trump said, that assessments are totally different from valuation of property. So it's frustrating to have to go over this stuff, but I do it because I want you guys to understand the truth of these things. And if you don't understand what we're talking about, please just rewind the video, look for yourself. But again, this whole premise of this outrage on social media is based on a false allegation that Latita James and the judge were saying, it's worth 18 million. It's not the case. That was from the tax assessor. They were rating it as a private club, which could be even, too low. I could agree with that. I can see that. However, the Trump people were trying to, base the value on if it were a residence, but there's a restriction on the deed. Okay. I want to go over this more. I want you to just hear the language and the outrage. And for these kind of people, this over at Valuetainment or what's his name, Patrick Bet David, I'm pretty sure they're not stupid. I promise you, these people aren't stupid. Like these kind of people claim they know everything about finance and economy and stuff like that. So, they probably know exactly that they're perpetuating a lie. It is what it is, though, because it's more popular on social media to be on a particular cheerleading team and say, oh, look at those evil people. Look at that person. Looks like Janet Jackson. They're so evil. And I mean, you guys kind of know where that's going. Let's read some more or watch some more that you guys can see. So understand that, again, this whole video is perpetuated on a lie.
Dollars for that land right now.
That's really nice grass.
Yeah. So go back, Rob. Go back, Rob. If you can go back one. Go back one. Go back one. Go to the second house.
The view, Pat.
That house is 2.27 acres.
Wow.
Okay. For $187 million. How many bedrooms is it? Go up a little bit to see how many rooms it is. Go up. 11 rooms. 177 rooms was the other one, just so you know, on 17.7 acres. So if we take purely this math, okay, go to the one previous and just do the land. Go to the one previous, Rob, you were in, right there, that one right there. So the other property is 18 acres. This is 2 acres.
So basically what he's doing here is just getting really mad and then just start making up math. That's what we're doing here. And he's basically going to say, okay, well, therefore, Trump's estate should be worth really a lot more because I'm just going to make stuff up. This is what this is all about.
Just say 8 times, okay? 8 times $200 million with 0 property, just the land, $1.6 billion.
Wow.
With the land, with the pool, with the club, with all the inside the rooms, everything, a realtor, an aggressive realtor could make an argument for $2 billion, okay?
Here, right there. So basically he's just like, wow, I mean, if you have a really good realtor and you're really aggressive, Trump at Mar-a-Lago is worth $2 billion. and it's just like, you're just making stuff up at this point, right? So first you're on a false premise that the judge and Latita were saying 18 million, right? And then you start building off from that. And then you start making up just crazy math of like, oh, really? It's worth $2 billion. And I want you to see some more of this stuff, and you guys, you'll get a sense of like why it's so frustrating to deal with this. And also too, there's some underlying, I'll let you be the judge. I could say you could view this stuff as racist or prejudiced, but I'll just let you be the judge of that. So I'll let you be the judge of that stuff. But it is built on those kind of audiences, though.
But the fact that somebody's selling 2 acres of land for $200 million and Letitia's able to convince that the place is only worth $18 million, do you realize how ludicrous and how funny this is? This is why people are leaving New York. Letitia James trying to talk like Janet Jackson. Okay? That's what's going on to your state.
Hey, that's poetic
Congratulations.
justice there,
She looks like Sherman Klump without the glasses. But by the way, so
those kind of things when you have to like bring up Janet Jackson, like what does that have to do with anything, right? And this is the kind of audiences that you're dealing with on YouTube and social media. So it's frustrating for me because I don't like want to spend all my time just dealing with, how can I say, petty and false claims. But you have to, because people believe this crap. This video has gotten 500,000 views. And if you don't, understand what's going on, I'll explain it one more time. On social media, you're going to see that Letitia James rated the property at 18 million. This is simply not true. That's coming from a tax assessor in Florida, not James, not the judge, right? They didn't do that. Essentially, then Trump is paying lower taxes on his property because it's based on being a private club. The club itself is deed restricted. You guys can see this here. And then even here it's saying, I'll read it to you. It says, as part of the New York civil investigation from Mar-a-Lago at New York, from 2011 to 2021, Mar-a-Lago has been assessed by the Palm Beach County as having a value of 18 to 27 million. Again, that's from the tax assessor. And it says, while at the same time, Trump's financial statements has valued it from 427 million to 627 million as part of a alleged scheme to both lower insurance premiums and to get favorable loan terms. And then moreover, then it says here, in contrast, one area real estate broker hired by Trump gave an opinion that the property could be worth as much as $1 billion. So these values are all over the map. And then you got in social media where you have this like Patrick Bet David guys, no, it's worth $2 billion because I just can do math. Like you got to multiply it times 8. Like, okay. And it's like I said, it's real frustrating to have to deal with this kind of stuff. But guys, when I do these kind of videos on YouTube and I hang out with you, I just want to talk about facts and the truth of this stuff, right? And it's not about left, right. It's about truth. I don't know what else to say. And also about justice, right? I don't care who is cheating. If it's a person, in the Democrat Party is cheating, we're going to call it out. The person in the Republican Party cheating, we'll call it out. And we'll call out BS on social media. So that's my point of view on this kind of stuff. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch you next video.